Hello friends, and welcome to week 2 of Old School April. Okay, so my first week was pretty chaotic. Lots of old school stuff happening. I just ended that vlog and I was like, I better start this vlog now or I'm totally gonna forget because today's Easter and I have a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, I'm not gonna fall asleep right now. I'm gonna talk about a couple of books I want to read this week that are kind of haunted house focused. Not all of them are gonna be haunted house books, kind of like with my creepy kid themed vlog. It wasn't like a complete theme because I did end up reading some other books to fulfill all their prompts for Old School April. But I definitely want to get to The Spite House by Johnny Compton, and I definitely will. Look at how tiny this book is. I think it's only 250 pages. It's very tiny, and it's 250 pages. I've been trying to save this one because I'm hearing such great things. I already know I'm biased because I live in a Spite House, so I know how it is. I know how it is. So I'm super excited for this. I love the cover too. The cover is so great. It's like gothic horror cover. Sorry if you just moved. My table is very wobbly. And then I used an Audible credit on Tell Me I'm Worthless by Allison Rumfitt. I have a bunch of Audible credits right now because I'm going to return some. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I did. I hope I'm saying Allison's last name right. Rumfitti. There's 2 T's there. And then Lizzie Borden by Elizabeth Instrom. I know I didn't finish Elizabeth Instrom's Beauty Is yet because I'm going to be bummed out. And I don't know if this is necessarily going to be like a haunted house, but it's on my 23 and 23 and I need to read it anyways this year. So sometimes with Instrom books, well, the one I read, I've noticed she puts in some supernatural stuff in those 2 stories is what I've noticed. So hopefully this is like Lizzie Borden with a bit of supernatural stuff, maybe something with the house. I'm just guessing. I have no idea. But yeah, those are definitely 3 books that I want to read this week, but I know I'll probably be reading more. Hopefully, I started another job, so I will be working 2 jobs this week. So wish me luck, and I'm going to get to reading or doing old school stuff.
In about 30 days, and he took it very seriously. It's like, if you want to do this right, you better come to my ring every single day for like 2 hours, and I'm going to put you through some crazy shit. And he wasn't kidding. So you sit on the horse in his ring. He goes, don't move. For about 15 minutes. Horse takes 1 step forward. He goes, you didn't tell it to move forward correctly. So you move it back. The horse goes, okay.
Okay, so it's been a couple days since I checked in. I've just been really busy. If you hear construction, sorry. It's really loud right now. I'm trying to do a quick check-in before I head to work tonight after working this morning. So much fun. But yeah, I was really busy. I got to go see the Brucerama event here in Richmond with some friends, and that was a lot of fun hearing Bruce Campbell just talk about stuff, answer a bunch of questions, and the trivia was really fun. And yeah, I thought I was seeing Evil Dead Rise though, so I was like not disappointed to just watch Evil Dead there, but maybe I was. I still had a blast though, and it was cool to see Evil Dead with like a bunch of people. That was a lot of fun. But I did manage to finish Spite House by Johnny Compton, and I really like this book. My only thing is that I wish it was a little bit longer. There's some stuff that I wish it spent a little bit more time on. It felt like the pacing was off a bit, like it felt a bit rushed, but overall I really liked it. This is so funny. This book reminds me of the show Beef on Netflix. I just watched that this week and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the spooky version of that show. So yeah, this is about a guy and his 2 daughters who they're just moving around a bunch, and staying in motels, and he is looking for like a solid job to make some money, and he comes across like a job to stay in a spite house and record everything like that goes on there in a journal. It sounds very episode 13, I feel like, the setup, but with a family. But yeah, that is the setup, and it's like a rich lady paying him, and you get like a bunch of like past stuff in this. So if you don't like a lot of history stuff, well, not like history, but it's I don't know how else to describe it without giving it away. It's beef. It's beef. It's just called a spite house. So yeah, I really liked it, and yeah, my only pet peeve is I just wanted a little bit more on certain things. Very spooky. There's some genuinely well-written ghost scenes in this. That makes sense. It was so great. And yeah, I really like the structure of this, and it does shift POVs, and shifts like perspectives as well. I thought the structure was really interesting, and yeah, I loved it. Of course I did. Of course I loved this book. I knew I was going to love it. I think I'm leaning towards a 4.5, round up to 5 on Goodreads for sure. And then I have started listening to Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt. I'm not too far into this one, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I can't really explain it. It's different for sure. I do like the opening of this. It felt very Haunting of Hill House, Shirley Jackson style. There is a like the first line of Haunting of Hill House. It's taken, but it's done differently here to fit the narrative for this book, I guess. So I'm very intrigued. I was intrigued before, but now I'm like super intrigued. So yeah, I'm really excited to finish listening to this one this week. But I thought I would switch it up a bit. I know I was trying to do Haunted House, and I was going to do Lizzie Borden, but this book is going to needs to be returned soon, Signal to Noise, so I really need to read it for my technology prompt for Old School April, because I'm horrible. I'm awful. I DNF'd Ring, which was my technology one, but yeah, I need to read this. So I think I'm going to try to read this tonight at work. I'm working my boring job tonight. Well, knock on wood, hopefully it's boring, where I can get some reading done. And yeah, I did get to watch High Spirits, so I did knock out a couple of movies. And yeah, I think that is it for my check-in. I will check in later. Okay, so really quickly, because again, it might get loud with construction, and you might hear the fan on. It is like freaking 90 degrees already here, but yeah, I want to do a quick check-in because I decided to DNF Signal to Noise. Nothing like it's not bad or anything, I just know it's not going to be a horror book, and I'm like, I need the horror right now in my life. This is more of like a sci-fi, or not sci-fi, is it sci-fi? It's more sci-fi or like magic, I guess, spells, because they're doing spells with music in this. Lots of cool references. I really like the 80s flashbacks with the friends, but yeah, it's just not working for me, and yeah, I think I'm gonna DNF it, but I made it 50 pages in, if that counts for anything. But I did pick up I'm having a rough time with the technology part, I guess, or prompt for Old School April, so I decided to pick up Burn the Negative by Josh Wishing, I forget the name. I forget the author's name, but I have an arc of this from NetGalley, so I need to read it, and I read like 50 pages, 60 pages that last night, I forget. I was like so tired. I'm really tired right now. I can't tell, but yeah, I'm really liking it. This is a cursed film story about a woman who is in this old 80s horror movie called The Guest House, and it was a cursed film. I guess like The Poltergeist, how it's a cursed film. But basically she's a journalist now, and they're remaking the movie, and she's sent onto the set to like, write an article about it. So it's really interesting so far. I'm really liking all of the references. She really likes what's her face, Winona Ryder, and so do I, especially 80s and early 90s Winona Ryder stuff is amazing. Movies, what am I saying? So yeah, I'm enjoying this, and then I'm like halfway through listening to Tell Me I'm Worthless. Am I halfway or a little bit more? I think I only have a little left. Actually, I have no idea how much I have left of this book. This book is like a fever dream, though. It reminds me of like Clive Barker, but like on like a million like pills or something. I don't know. This is like a drugged Clive Barker story, but I'm really liking it so far. It's very unique, but plot-wise, there's not a lot going on. It's more of like inner dialogue happening, like a lot of inner dialogue happening, like a lot between these two women. One is a trans woman and one is a TERF. So, and they used to be friends, so it's kind of like what happened with them, and you're figuring it out. But the writing is really good. I love the writing. Is just, as a reader, like listening to this, I'm like, the writing, amazing. The plot, what's going on? Those are my two thoughts so far. But yeah, I will check in when I finish a book, I guess. This has not been a great week for me. I think I'm starting to burn out a bit, but I'm also working like a ton, and I've been really busy as well when not working with other stuff, or like, yeah. So this vlog is probably going to be super chaotic and crazy, and I hope I can read something, but yeah, I will check in later. Okay, so I'm in the brightest freaking room ever at work right now, and I just wanted to do a quick check-in because I'm working like a 10-hour shift today, and I worked 10 hours yesterday, and I haven't been able to check in, but I did finish Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumsfeld, and I liked this book, but I think it got a little messy, bringing everything together, what it was trying to do, but the writing is so good in it. But yeah, I think it missed the mark at the end a little bit. What a depressing book too. It's so depressing. And yeah, I liked the body horror in it. I think I'm leaning towards a 3.5. I'll round up to 4 on Goodreads. And what else did I finish? Oh, I finished Burn the Negative. I did like this. It's like more of a thriller book. It wasn't supernatural, but it had like a lot of dreams and stuff in it. You guys know how I feel about dream sequences. I'm like, one is enough, okay, guys? So there's the main character in this continuously is having creepy dreams in it, and that kind of got on my nerves. So I'm still thinking about what I want to rate to this. I think I'm thinking like 3 or 3.5 for it, or maybe just a 3, because the dreams were a lot. If you like cursed film stories though, this one's really interesting, and also it would fit like a haunted house situation too. So right now I am currently reading Chainsaw Hooker by Judith Sonnet. I meant to read this on my birthday and I totally forgot, and now I'm in the Readathon Peace Talks thing happening, so I'm trying to read a bunch of novellas for this weekend. I'm actually in the chat, and it's funny because Kaylee has read it and she's like, oh boy, you're reading that at work, huh? Yeah. So I'm almost done with this one. I think I have like 40 more pages left, and I'm loving it. It's so good. There is a lot of poop in it, but I'm here for the poop, I guess. That didn't sound right, but I will check in later. I probably actually have to work a little bit before I get back to reading, unfortunately, but I just want to do a really quick check-in, and yeah, I'll check in later. Okay, so it is the next day. It is Sunday the 16th, I think. I don't know. I don't know what day it is. But I'm about to go into work. I'm working like 20 days in a row or something crazy, something stupid. I don't recommend it. But I did manage to finish some books last night. When I left work, I listened to The Veil by Rachel Harrison. This is a very, very short story. I think I saw Amy talking about it from Amy Noel Reads like a couple months ago. And this is available for free on Audible, or it was a couple months ago and I just saved it. This is about a woman who works at a death museum. And she's like dressed in mourning and she has like a black veil and she falls asleep in a hearse and ends up waking up and there's like a ghost and he's like kind of cute. So she makes out with him like anybody else would. And that's all I can pretty much say with that, about that story. I had a lot of fun with this. I literally listened to it in like 15 or 20 minutes on my drive home from work. And I'm counting it for readathon, and I'll try to count it for old school as well. I'll figure it out. A prompt for that. Figured it out. And then they were sprinting on Kelsey's channel. I think she started at like 5:30. So after I checked in yesterday, and I was just in the chat because when I got home, Alex's friends were here. It was like very loud until like 10 o'clock ish. So I was just in the chat until like 1. But I did manage to finish Whisper of Death. I read almost over half of it last night, and then I finished the rest this morning. Not my favorite Pike book. I think this is my least favorite Pike book actually I read. This is like very religious-y, and the premise is like Left Behind. So it's like these kids show up in their town and nobody's there. There are no parrots, there's not even animals, and then there's like something else that happens in this book that is like, what the heck, Pike? I've never gotten like conservative or like religious stuff messaging in a Pike book before, other than this one. I'm like, okay, like you okay, dude? And the cover doesn't, I feel like the cover doesn't make a ton of sense either. I don't know, like usually like it all goes together. But yeah, my least favorite Pike book for sure. It is kind of wild. It is pretty violent and depressing, but it also feels like the setup to Road to Nowhere as well, or like it has similarities to Road to Nowhere, which I like a lot more. So yeah, I think I'm leaning towards a 2-star for this Pike book. My least favorite Pike book. And then Kelsey, so sweet, sent me another birthday present, and she sent me Hugo earrings from Treehouse of Horror. This is the Thing and I episode or skit, and I think it's season 8. And actually the inspiration for this, I just love this episode so much. It's so much fun. I always thought it was based off of the Cronenberg twin movie. I can't think of the name. I always thought it was that movie, but it's actually Basket Case, which is like one of my favorite like 70s like indie horror movies. It's like so good. So yeah, of course Kelsey knows me. I was so excited to get these in, and I had to rock some Simpsons shirt today. I don't know if I'm gonna wear these to work or not today, but maybe I will try, because I'm actually working with somebody that like really likes earrings and stuff. So I might wear these today. It's gonna be a fun day. I'm working a like doll tea party thing. So I was told I don't have to bring a doll to like get some food or whatever. So I was like, you don't want me to bring a doll? Probably. What else I want to talk about? I finished Chainsaw Hooker. I think, was I almost done with this when I checked in? I really liked it. It was set up for a sequel. I don't know. I don't think it needs a sequel, but if there is a sequel, I will totally read it. 5 stars. This is amazing. I think it's on KU right now too. I bought the ebook like a while ago, and I was like gonna save it. I was supposed to read it for my birthday, but yeah, I loved it. I loved the subgenre of horror this goes into. So it's revenge, but it goes into something else, and I really liked that whole aspect of it. And there's so many great lines in this. I need to go back and highlight some lines in it. Just really quotable, fantastic, fun. time. So yeah, 5 stars. I feel like I always give a Judith Sonnet book like 5 stars. I'm like, that was so gross and disgusting and amazing. 5 stars. So yeah, it has been a week. I feel like I didn't get as much reading done as I wanted to. I definitely didn't touch the Lizzie Borden book. But I watched a couple of movies. I don't know if I talked about High Spirits. I watched High Spirits, which was hilarious. It's on Tubi. And then I just watched Phantasm. What the heck? And it's on Tubi as well. And I was showing my coworker that movie last night, and he was like, not having it. But I finished that one this morning. Yeah, so that would count as a 70s bonus point, and like just like a retro vibe horror movie base. Stay tuned for week 3 of Old School April. I will be knocking out some bonus prompts, hopefully. I'm not working quite as much next week. I am working like every day, but I'm not working like super long days like I did this week. But let me know, how was your second week of Old School April? Did you guys do any watch parties, attend any sprints, read anything old school, or watch anything old school? And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!